Okay, so students, how are you? We are going to start next chapter, that is pricing. Pricing is the part of decision making, again important for MCQs, MTQs, and CR. From any part he can test you. So pricing is first. Let's understand the story. Pricing is very much important in the business. If you are selling the product, it's a unique product. It's maybe the standardized product. It is like you are making it customized, standardized. It is obviously dependent upon pricing. Is basically dependent upon the market, because obviously if you are selling more than the competitor, no one will purchase the product from you. You have to set a best price for the product so that customer is paying you happily, and you can obviously earn the profit. For example, one thing, uh, I have made a bag, and obviously competitor are making the same bag. They are selling it for example $100, and you are like selling for $500. So it's a lot of difference, no one will take from you. Even you are selling for 120, still people will go for $100, because the bag quality is same with competitor, so they will prefer the lower rate as compared to higher rate that you have set. So pricing is very much important topic in F5 as well, and actually in industry as well. So first of all, we have to understand that why pricing is important. First thing in pricing is because every business wants to maximize the profit. Every business is there. Business means to earn the profit. So every business is there to maximize the profit. So for maximizing the profit, every business has to set the price. So the maximization of profit depends on the price, right? Because it's obviously maximizing the profit is the main goal of business. And obviously normally people think that if our selling price is more and cost is less. If cost is less and selling price is more, we can earn more profit. But this is not the real concept. Every time increasing your selling price will not lead you to greater profit. Sometimes decreasing your selling price will lead you to greater profit. Why? Because every product has different nature. Some products are like, if you say necessities, like for example books, for example uh, like eating item, food items, these are the things that are necessary for the nation, necessary for the people. So people will buy it, even it's for $1 or $5, people will buy it. In that scenario, if you're increasing the selling price, people will still buy. You are okay with that, the demand is okay, people are coming and taking, even we have increased the price. In that scenario, you will earn the profit. But sometimes your product is like having the you can say it's not like necessary, it's like jurious product or something, like people is like, okay, if they want to buy they can, but if they don't want to buy, it will not add or less the value in their life. So they will say no, will not take the product because it's too much expensive. In that case, you have to set lower price. So it is the strategical issue in the business to set the price. It's the management issue to set the price in the business for the product. So first of all, before going to pricing concept, that what price we have to set, what price of product we have to set, before that we have to understand the different types of market structures. Different types of market structures should be understood first, then we'll understand the concept of pricing. Why? Because price depends on market structure, price depends on market, and it's sure that the market, every product has obviously its unique market. So price depends on that market. Like, we are going to discuss that how many market structures are there. First market structure we are going to study is perfectly competitive. First market we are going to study is perfectly competitive. Some markets are perfectly competitive. Perfectly competitive means, for example, in your country, in your city, there may be a big mobile market, big laptops market. Like, they are dealing in the mobiles or laptops, electronic markets, very big. There are thousands of shops in that market. So that market obviously is the perfectly competitive market, because everyone is selling the product. Everyone is selling the same product. One shop is selling, if one shop is selling like for example you can say uh, Samsung, so another shop will also be selling that same Samsung. There will not be a uniqueness or the customization in that. That's a standardized product everyone is selling. There may be the car market, there may be the motorcycle market. So different markets are there, and all the markets in which the standard product is being sold is perfectly competitive. So in this market, you can, how you can set the price? Obviously, if you assume that there is one market of mobile, and mobile company just issued the price at this price you have to sell, for example, $100, and everyone in the market is selling for $100, you are selling for $150, anyone will buy from you? Obviously no, because because the mobile company has offered the price of $100, and everyone in the market is selling for $100, so anyone will not pay you more than $100. If you are selling for 150, 120, no one will take from you. So in the perfectly competitive market, there is the standard price that is set by the company, back company, like mobiles company, and that market has to sell at that selling price. They can't charge more for that. So there are some characteristics. We'll study more about pricing further. Just we are understanding the market. The first market is perfectly competitive. There are some characteristics of perfectly competitive market. There are some characteristics of perfectly competitive market. First characteristic is that there is zero entry or exit barriers in this market. Anyone can start the business, anyone can leave the business. It's not like that if I want to start the business and I'm seeing that there is a huge market leader or tycoon in this market, so how can I invest? How will I get how will I get rich? How will I earn the profit? There is a big whale in the market. It's not like that. In this perfectly competitive, anyone can enter. For example, I have some money, I can invest in that market, take the shop, sell the phone, sell the mobile, sell the laptops. No one will say that why you have started that. Obviously there's no barrier for that. Or if I want to exit the market, I can easily exit the market, there's no issue. I want to like liquidate the company, means I want to end up the business, I can easily end up the business. There is no barrier in that. This is first characteristics of perfectly competitive market. Second, there is the perfect information available. Obviously, everyone selling the mobile, they know the fixed rates, they know the fixed cost that we are getting from the company. We are getting the mobile in 80 and selling for 100, and they know that the profit is 20 per mobile. Profit per unit is, for example, if I am taking the mobile from company at $80 and selling for 100, so I know that profit on that mobile is $20 fixed. On every mobile I will get $20. So there is no way of having any secrets that any shop in the market is like having, like we are selling at more rate or having less cost. No, because there is perfect information. Everyone knows the cost in the market, everyone knows the profit in the market, everyone knows the selling price in the market, and anyone can start the business, anyone can leave the business. This is the criteria. Perfect information means correct information is always available. But for example, on the other hand, if the market is not perfect, there is one special market leader in the market. Obviously, market leader will be having some secrets, and we, as a new entrant, we can't access their secrets because they have, obviously they are secrets for them. So they are using that secrets to run their business. But in perfectly competitive, all the information is like public, and you can get that perfect information. Third, in this market, everyone is aiming to have the profit. Everyone is running for the profit, earn more profit. Obviously, they know that on one mobile, we are going to earn $20. So everyone will want to sell more units to get more profit. So in this market, no one is like that. We want to be the leader of the market. In perfectly competitive, no one can be the leader. Means there is a mobile market having thousands of shops. Now one shop is saying that we will be the leader of the market. No way. No way. Why? Because obviously in perfectly competitive market, everyone is selling, everyone is earning profit. So you aim just to earn the profit, not to be the leader of the market. You can't be the leader in that market. After that, homogeneous profit means on every unit of the product you get the fixed profit, almost fixed homogeneous profit. That is, I've already given you the example. Everyone is getting the mobile for 80 from the company and selling for 100 in the market. So $20 is the homogeneous profit. Everyone is earning 20 per phone, 20 per mobile. So this is known as homogeneous profit. In perfectly competitive, these 4 points are there. These are the characteristics of perfectly competitive. On the other hand, there is imperfect competitive market as well. Imperfect competitive market means that in this market, everyone is not having the same right, or everyone is not on the same level. Like in the perfectly competitive, everyone selling buying. No, in imperfect market, imperfect competitive market, the major shareholding, the major market share, sorry, the major market share is with the only one leader or maybe two leaders or maybe some leaders. Everyone can't enter that market. Like for example, monopoly. If we talk about Microsoft, if we talk about the example Microsoft, so Microsoft is the operating system made by the Bill Gates company, right? So Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft, and Microsoft, when it was made, operating system was made, it was the only one operating system in world, only one operating system in world who is like leading the market. No one was there with in front of Microsoft for the competition. Neither the complete market was like selling Microsoft operating system, or any other operating system. Like it was not traded like in the market mobiles are being traded. So these operating system are not like in the market where one person has obviously arranged that made the operating system from his own company, and another like thousands of companies are there for different operating software. That was not the case. So Microsoft is only the leader in this market, so he has no competition. So monopoly is that basically example of imperfect competitive market. And for the monopoly I have given you example Microsoft, only one leader in the market. So it's imperfect competitive, like it's not perfectly competitive market. After that, duopoly. Duopoly means when there are two owners. There are two owners, two companies you can say who are leading the market. Two companies who are leading the market. For example, Pepsi and Coke. Pepsi and Coke. Now, Pepsi and Coke, these two companies are leading the market in the black soft drink, black color soft drink. They both are leading the market. Now, obviously, local producers are also available, but if you see with respect to complete world, these two are leading the market. So only the black drink is offered by Pepsi and Coke in complete world. So this is duopoly. When two of the market leaders, there are two market leaders competing with each other, but no other is in the market with on their same level. Maybe any local company is making the black drink, and it's like on the local level, like you can say in the country, in the city, or in the area, he is like selling that and he's earning profit for himself. But obviously that drink is not having the competition with Pepsi and Coke. They are the leaders, they both are the leaders. So this is duopoly. After that, oligopoly. Oligopoly means when there are some market leaders. Some means more than two, three, four, 10. Like there are not like everyone is the leader. No, some market leaders. Some market leaders. Like for example, in the country, for example, if there are, you know that there are SIM providers, SIM providing companies. SIM providing companies are there in every country, right? For example, I am just assuming there are four companies A, B, C, and D. Now, these four SIM providing companies are there in the complete market, and only these companies' SIMs are used in the public. So there are only four leaders in this market, maybe five leaders. So when there are not one, not two, but more than two, and not unlimited, like three, four, five, seven, 10, 12, these type of numbers of market leaders are available. Only these market leaders, where only they have the market leadership, and obviously no one can sell this, make the company and sell the same in the market, in the big market with the thousands of shops selling, everyone selling its own sim with another brand. So no, only the companies that are leading are three, four, or five. So this is oligopoly when there are some market leaders. And last one is monopolistic. Monopolistic is the business, you can say the market with the similar products but not identical. Similar products but not identical. I can give you the example like McDonald's or KFC. Now, these are two big market leaders. They are selling the similar products like burgers, like for example, soft drinks, chicken pieces, and like that. Different products are being sold by both of them. Their products are similar, like burgers, similar, but their products are not identical. When there is a market like that, you say that their products are similar but not identical. That type of market is known as monopolistic market, like in which same type of product is being sold, but not identical product is being sold. In that scenario, you will say it's monopolistic. If the same, obviously, same product is being sold by another, we'll say that it's like duopoly. If two-person are selling, if there are more same product, identical product. So if there are four like that, for example, four or five market leaders with the same product, with an identical product, so we can say oligopoly. But if the product are similar but not identical as much, you can't say that these both are identical. That type of market is basically monopolistic market. So this perfectly competitive market and imperfect competitive market, why we have stated that? Because in both of the markets, price are to be set accordingly. Like if it's perfectly competitive, you can't set your price by your own self. You have to see the complete market, complete competition, what the rate the competitor is offering, what the rate company has told you to offer. So you have to see these all types of stuff, and then you have to sell on that selling price. But in imperfect comparative, if you see this, if there is monopoly, you have the product which has a monopoly in complete world. Now you are the only leader in the market. Now no one is like telling you to set the selling price. You can charge anything, any value to the customer. You can charge if you are charging more than 100. For example, you are charging $100 now. Next year you are charging $200. So obviously the person who want to use your product, he will take for 200, 300 as well. You don't have like barriers for setting the selling price as in perfectly competitive. In duopoly, what companies do, they are obviously there are obviously two types of like company that are leading the market. So two types of company, when they are leading the market, they set the price with each other accordingly. Like for example, just I'm giving the example, if Pepsi is being sold for $5, for example, big bottle, so Coke rate will be almost same. Why they are same? Because they both are in the competition. They both are in the competition. They're on the top level. No one is entering the market, but they both will be having the competition. Accordingly, they will set the price. In oligopoly, accordingly, that they will see the competitors, that if there are three, four, five competitors selling the leading the market, leading the complete market. So what they do, they will set the price according to the competitors. Like they, if they want to survive, if they are selling much more than, for example, one provider is charging very much higher than other sim providers, people will leave it and go to the sim providers which are giving them the services in the low cost. After that, same for monopolistic, like they don't compete with each other because their products are not identical, but they can take idea from each other, that they have set the selling price at this level, so we can set up the selling price upward or downward depending upon the company strategy. So both type of markets, the pricing policy, the pricing decision will be changed according to the market. It depends on market basically. So we have basically three approaches of pricing. Now we are going to study three approaches of pricing in different product, for different market, for different products, different approaches are being used. So first we are going to discuss demand based approach. We are starting first demand based approach. Demand based approach is the longest part in this chapter. Like we are now going to start demand based approach, and it will take our complete lecture. After that, we'll discuss the other two approaches of pricing. So first approach is demand based approach. See, in the pricing, when you are setting the price and you are planning to make the product and set the price for that product, you have to see the demand. Demand based approach says that also see the demand that will be affected according to your price. For example, just I'm giving the example. If you are increasing the price, maybe your demand is getting lower. Maybe because if you're increasing the price so much, everyone will not take. Everyone doesn't afford the same product every time. If the product selling price, specific product selling price gets too much high, some people who can't afford, they will not purchase from you. So selling price increasing will lead to the decrease in demand. Or if you are like decreasing the selling price, maybe your demand, your customer number of customers increases. So this is the like very much like you have to see the importance of selling price with the product. If you are selling so much, maybe your customer are get so lower that you are earning the loss. I've written here that if you set so much low prices or set too much higher prices, both cases will lead you to loss. Because if you are selling too much lower price, maybe your demand is very good in that case, but your selling price is so lower or too lower, maybe less than your cost per unit, less than your cost per unit. So how you will obviously earn the profit? Or if you are setting the price too much higher, assume that too much higher, so demand will get as much lower, maybe you are not able to generate that number of sales, and will lead to, and your business can lead to loss. So for that purpose, we have to find the best optimum price. We have to find that best optimum point at which you can get the maximum profit. So you have to set accordingly in the midpoint. In the midpoint, somehow in the midpoint, we'll see that what point will be this. So actually, we are now in the demand-based approach. We are now going to study this effect, that at which point, at which price we have to set, at which price we can earn the maximum profit. We have to understand that. For example, I have just for the graphical representation, I have made this line. See, when you are increasing the price, if you see at higher price, your demand is lower from here. Like demand, you see, this is the demand on x-axis, your demand is lower. As soon as you lower your prices, if you see at this price, your demand gets more. It comes like here. You have decrease more price, your demand, for example, if the price is set here, demand is almost increased. So if you take the price more lower, demand goes very down. So actually, if I say you that you have to find like a midpoint, a best point, you have to find the best point at which, what is the best point at which your profits are maximum, you can earn the maximum profit. So we have to find that best point where we'll get to know about the price that we have to set. If we will be setting that price, we'll be getting maximum profit. Means before that or after that, if I am setting the price here or here, here or here, will have lower less profit as compared to on the best point. So best point means at which we have maximum profit. Other than this point, will not be at that maximum profit. We can earn the profit or low profit or go to the loss, but for the maximum profit, we have to find that best point. So this is the topic. This is that's why I've written. So now we have to find the best price. Now we have to find the best price. So let us just revise quickly. First, we have understood that pricing, for pricing, we have to, our motive is to maximize the profit. So always increasing the selling price will not lead you to profit. Sometimes decreasing that will lead you to profit. Secondly, price depends on market structure. Perfectly competitive, you have to arrange the price, set the price according to the market. And imperfect market, obviously monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly, depending upon the case which the business is going through. So accordingly, the business has to set the price. After that, we have studied the three broad approaches of pricing, in which first was demand-based approach. For the demand-based approach, obviously, we come to know that setting too much higher or too much lower cost selling price can lead you to the loss. You have to find the best point. So we are going to find that best point that will be under demand based approach. So remember, we are still under demand based approach. It's the first approach we have to be doing. So first approach is algebraic approach. First approach is algebraic approach. What algebraic approach says? It says that profit can be maximized. Students, focus. Profit can be maximized. If you are sleeping, just now be active. It's very important now. It's very important now. Profit can be maximized when? Profit can be maximized when? It is written when marginal cost of the business is equal to marginal revenue. This is the point where marginal cost and marginal revenue will be equal. Profit will be maximum at that point. What it means? So we'll see one by one that what marginal cost is, what marginal revenue is, and how we'll able to find that point where marginal cost and marginal revenue are equal. But what you have to understand, The one thing that profit, for the profit, you have to understand that profit can be only maximized when marginal cost and marginal revenue are equal. What is marginal cost? Obviously, the variable cost of business. Marginal cost is variable cost of business. And marginal revenue, additional revenue earned on selling one further unit. Additional revenue earned on selling for one further unit. Sometimes students are not able to understand this point, marginal revenue. Marginal cost is simple, variable cost, but for marginal revenue, they're confused. So I've made the table here and I will let you know about marginal revenue. What is marginal revenue? See, first, I have written quantity and price in first two columns. If you see, when our price was 70, only one customer takes our product. Only quantity was one that was sold. When we do the price lower 60, customer goes to 2. And with the passage of time, as we are decreasing the price, our quantity basically means our demand is being increased in the market. So if I want to calculate the complete revenue, how I'll do that? Quantity multiply price, 70, 60 into 2, 120, 50 into 3, 150, 40 into 4, 160, 30 into 5, 150, 30 into 5, 150. So if you see that revenue we have calculated, but I am concerned about marginal revenue. What is marginal revenue? Now see, additional revenue earned on selling one further unit. Okay, let's see. For this, obviously marginal revenue will be 70 because before that there was no revenue. Now you have to calculate the difference between previous and new selling price. New revenue 70 minus 120 minus 70, 50 is the marginal revenue, means additional revenue earned on selling one further unit. So additional revenue I have earned from going from 1 to 2, I have earned 70 plus 50, obviously 50 additional revenue was there to go to 120. Now here marginal revenue is 30, 120 to 150, 150 to 60, 10, and 160 to 150 minus 10. Now, if you see, this is the way you have to calculate the marginal revenue. Additional revenue earned on selling one additional unit. But one thing. For example, this company has a variable cost of 30. I'm just assuming this company has a variable cost of 30, and I ask you that which selling price the business should set. Which selling price the business should set according to this scenario. So first you will see the point where marginal cost and marginal revenue are equal. If you have just seen that marginal revenue are 70, 50, 30, 10, and minus 10, and variable cost is obviously marginal cost, that is 30. So if variable cost marginal cost is 30, so if we see the marginal revenue 30 is at this point, so we come to know that at this point your marginal revenue is equal to variable cost, means marginal cost. At this point, variable cost or marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. So this is the best point. Best point means that we have to set price accordingly. That price is 50. So we will say that best selling price is 50. Sell the product for 50 because at this point your marginal revenue and marginal cost becomes equal. So we'll set this price according to this algebraic concept. So algebraic concept mainly says that calculate the variable cost, calculate the marginal revenue, and see the point where company's variable cost means marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. At that point, take that price at the point, at that specific point, that is the best point. That is the best selling price that will generate you maximum profit, maximum contribution. Now, this is the basic overview of marginal revenue, marginal cost, and algebraic approach like profit. When the profit is maximized, marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. Now we are going to study the proper calculation for that. We'll see the steps first and we'll do the question afterwards. First, we'll see the steps. Step number one. Always when we have to calculate, why we are doing the calculations for optimum price, best price. Optimum price means at the price at which you can earn maximum contribution. That is basically optimum price. So calculation step number one, what we have to do, we have to understand, we have to write the relationship between price and quantity demanded. The formula for this is, formula for price and quantity relation is P is equal to A minus BQ. P is equal to A minus BQ. This is the formula. P is equal to A minus BQ. This is the formula. That is the relationship between price and quantity. Okay, so P is equal to A minus BQ. We have to understand every alphabet. A means the price at which the quantity turns to be zero. Okay. Let us understand what is A. Actually, we know that when the price is increased according to demand based approach, the demand decreases. Like for example, you are selling 100 at $100, your demand is 50. When you will increase the price to 120, maybe your demand gets 30. Maybe you are selling at 140, now your demand gets to 5, only 5 customers. When you go to 150, you come to know that now your demand is 0. So actually this is A, the price at which your demands come 0. The price at which your quantity or demand turns to be 0. So you have to understand A, that price at which your quantity turns to be 0. Okay, now what is B? We'll understand that how to calculate A and everything we will understand in the question. Just I'm reading the steps only that we'll do in the calculation. B. B here means price effect according to demand. Price effect according to demand, and it is calculated through the formula change in price divided by change in quantity. Change in price divided by change in quantity, and the answer will be negative, but we have to ignore the negative sign here. Here, the answer of B will be negative, but we have to ignore that sign. Just what we have to do is like a difference in the price, change in the price divided by change in quantity. This is B. After that, Q is basically demand. The demand we want to sell the units, or with the number of customers to which we have to sell, want to sell the units. And P is the price you have to set. P is the price you have to set. So completing all of them, P is equal to A minus BQ is basic price and quantity relationship. Basic price and quantity relationship. Now what we have to do is to go to step 2. Means first of all, we'll complete step 1, means P is equal to A minus BQ. First, we'll complete that. After that, step 2. In step 2, double the equation to find marginal revenue equation. See, actually, there is marginal revenue equation just same like P is equal to A minus BQ. Only marginal revenue equation has some little difference. Like it is P is equal to A minus BQ, and marginal revenue is A minus 2BQ. Means you have to double the equation. Double the equation means you have to double this BQ. This BQ, just multiply 2 with this BQ, and you will get the formula of marginal revenue. Why we are calculating marginal revenue? Because we know that the point where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, at that point you will earn maximum profit. So that's why marginal revenue formula is to be learned by you. So P is equal to A minus BQ. Marginal revenue is equal to A minus 2BQ. After that, step 3, establish marginal cost of product. May basically establish or calculate variable cost taking from the data from the question. We'll calculate marginal cost. Step 4, to maximize profit. Now we know the profit can be maximized at which point where marginal cost and marginal revenue are same. So to maximize profit, equate marginal cost and marginal revenue to find optimum quantity. Basically here we'll, in this step 4, we'll calculate the marginal revenue and marginal cost, and then we'll equate that. Means we'll take them equal. How we'll do that? We'll do in the calculation. Then we'll find Q. And once we are done with calculation of Q, like we come to know about Q, then we are able to calculate the optimum price P, the main goal of our question. Actually, we want the price at which your maximum contribution can be earned. Step 6 will calculate that maximum contribution or profit if it's asked in the question. So this is just a reading of the steps I've done. Now I'm going to do the question. Let me take the question. Then we'll do that question. Okay, so this is the question we are going to do. This is the question we're going to do through these steps we have just read. So first of all, we know that take it. Let's we take it here so that we are able to understand properly. Okay, so first of all, we know that step 1 is to make the equation of quantity and price relationship A P is equal to A minus BQ. Now what we have to do, first of all, we have to calculate B. Always first calculate B. The formula for B is change in price divided by change in quantity. Now if we read the question, find the linear relationship between price and quantity in relation to the following sales and demand data. So data was this, like at 300 price you can like sell 500 units, and when you increase the price to 330, your demand comes lower to 400 units. Using price equation and assuming the variable cost per unit is 90, calculate optimum price and output, calculate maximum contribution. Okay, let's calculate change in price divided by change in quantity. We have two prices at two demand levels, two quantity levels. So change in price, if we take the difference of prices, it's like 330 minus 300. It will be 30, like positive 30 here. Why? Because 330 we have taken this one first, 330 minus 300. But accordingly, if we see the quantity, so the value we will use will be 400 minus 500, it will be minus 100. Because if we are taking the 330 first, so we have to take the quantity 400 first in calculation. So answer will be minus 0.3. But as I have told you that you have to ignore this minus, you have to ignore this minus and you will write it as that b is 0.3. Simple. Your answer will always be negative, but you have to ignore it. Now your equation comes p is equal to a minus uh, 0.3q. A minus 0.3q. Now what you have to do, second thing after B, but when you have calculated, after B, we have to calculate A. How we'll calculate A? See, you have two activity levels, like two demand levels, 500 and 400, and accordingly you are having the price. So you can decide any of one you can take for the calculation of A. So what we are doing to find A, finding A, what we will do at price, for example, assuming 300, the quantity is 500. So I am writing instead of P, I am writing the value 300 is equal to A minus 0.3, and the quantity at 300 price is 500. I am putting it here. From here, we'll calculate properly the value of A. A will be 450. If you calculate it, 500 into 0.3 is 150. It is deducting here. On the other side, it will be summed up with 300. So answer is $450. It means when our, because A, what is A? A means that at the, this is the price where your demand will be zero. This is a price where demand will become zero. So 450 is the maximum price you can charge, but at this price your demand will be zero, so you have to charge less than that, obviously, to increase the demand. Okay, so now till now we have calculated P is equal to 450. P is equal to, from here, from these calculations, we have finally calculated the relationship between price and quantity. 450 minus 0.3 Q. Step 1 is done here. Step 1 is completed here. Now, step 2. If you see the step 2, it's written double the equation to find marginal revenue. Means that marginal revenue formula is somehow like P is equal to A minus BQ. So just the difference was marginal revenue is equal to A minus 2BQ. And you have already calculated A. A value is 450 minus 2B. B is 0.3. So 0.3 into 2, I am just multiplying directly. So it will be 0.6Q. So second step is done here. Second step is done here. Just you have to do like this. Just you have to calculate the marginal revenue. In step 2, you have to calculate the marginal revenue just taking P equation and doubling the value that is with Q. Like it was 0.3, do it 2B like 0.6. Now, what is the third step? Establish the marginal cost or calculate the marginal cost. So third step is to calculate or establish the variable cost, means marginal cost in the question. If you see the question, they have already told you that variable cost per unit is 90. They have told you directly. If they haven't told that, it's very easy. Direct material, direct labor, direct expense, these are variable cost, variable production overhead, just add them. So variable cost is 90. They have given you directly. Examiner's mode is very good. So he can give you directly values. But in the case if it's not, he's not giving that, still no issue. Variable cost is simple. Take from the data and add them. It's the marginal cost or variable cost. Here step 2 and step 3 are also done. Now what we have to do, fourth step. Fourth step, if you see, it's to maximize profit, equate marginal cost and marginal revenue to find Q. What is it? What he is saying? Actually, he is saying that you have already made the formula for marginal revenue. Marginal revenue is equal to 450, sorry, 450 minus 0.6 Q. Okay. And from here that profit will be maximized here, it's the golden point. Profit will be maximized when your marginal revenue will be equal to marginal cost. Only in that scenario, when your marginal revenue and marginal cost are same, profit will be maximized. This is the rule of algebraic approach. So what we will do, instead of this marginal revenue, I will write marginal cost is equal to 450 minus 0.6 q, because I know that if marginal cost and marginal revenue are equal, only on this point you can get best price. Only on this point you can get best price. So you will equate, means we will assume it as equal to marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. And marginal cost we are already having 90. Just put it here. 90 is equal to 450 minus 0.6 q. 0.6 q on this side and 450 minus 90 on other side. Q will be 360 minus 0.6. 360 minus, sorry, 360 divided by 0.6. It is 600. It is 600. Let me calculate again. So 450 minus, wait, okay, minus 90, 360 divided by 0.6. Okay, so 600 units is the optimum quantity. 600 units is the optimum quantity you got from here. So actually, first we have to make the relationship between price and quantity by P is equal to A minus BQ, in which we calculate P first and then A using the data. After that, write marginal revenue formula same as P is equal to A minus BQ is A minus 2BQ. Then make the formula, because obviously values are already calculated for A and B. Then calculate variable cost, or if it's given directly write it. In the step 4, equate that marginal revenue with marginal cost, means replace the marginal revenue with the variable cost you are given with and calculate Q. Now you get the best quantity you can sell, 600 units, at which you can earn profit. But still you are not, you are not updated about the optimum price. For that, it's very easy. In the fifth step, obviously it's written, substitute the value of Q to find optimum price. Means you have already the relationship equation of P is equal to 450 minus 0.3 q. Now what you will do, you know the optimum quantity here, q here, just put the q in this equation to calculate the price that you have to set. That is the best price that will generate you the maximum contribution. P is equal to 450 minus 0.3 into q is 600. So it will be, P will be 450 minus 180, 450 minus 180, it is 270. So price is 270. Now the price we have got here is actually the best price, because on this price you will earn the best contribution, the maximum contribution. If you are charging, instead of this 270 you are charging 300 or 240, like higher or lower, you will get lower contribution. This is the only point, the optimum point, where you will get the maximum contribution, maximum profit. So this, according to the data they have given you at 300 and 330, but actually optimum price comes to be 270. That means it's the best price. Now the last requirement, sixth requirement, is the calculate the maximum contribution. No issue, maximum contribution we can calculate. Now from here, we know the best price is 270. Obviously the best selling price is 270. I'm writing here 270 minus, do variable cost per unit to calculate contribution per unit. To calculate contribution per unit, what you can do, selling price you have got to the optimum point, 270, minus variable cost you know is 90. Obviously in the question it was 90. So it is 270 minus 90 is 180. So you come to know here that 180 is actually the contribution per unit you are earning. Obviously the contribution you are earning per unit. Now if you want to calculate the total contribution, just multiply it with the quantity. One means units, 120 per unit is the contribution, multiply how many units you are going to sell. Obviously when we have done the marginal revenue, equate the marginal revenue to marginal cost, we come to know that at 270, 600 units will be sold. This is the only case according to the data. If you're going to the data, if you are selling at 300, you can sell 500 units. If 330, your units will get more lower to 400. But if 270, your units will be 600. So you can obviously earn this contribution per unit when you will sell 600 units only in this scenario. So 180 minus 600 is, sorry, 180 multiply 600 is 108,000, $108,000. Actually, this is the total contribution, the maximum contribution, the optimum contribution you can earn in this case. I am saying you that even you are changing the price from 270 to 260, take the price more lower or take the price higher. In both scenarios, even your price is higher or lower, you will earn less profit as compared to this profit, this contribution we have earned. This is the topic of optimum price using the price and quantity relationship equation. This was completely about algebraic approach. Second approach, obviously we're having some second approach, but before that, I'm going to give you one question. You have to do that first. You have to do that first in the assignment, then we'll go towards the next lecture. So this is the question. For the part A, I'm canceling that because you don't need to do this. This is something else. You don't need to do this. Just you have to do is to do perform step 1 to step 6 as per my like question. This question that we have done, do complete step 1 to step 6 and calculate optimum price at which your max contribution will be maximized. Just do this question, submit to me on WhatsApp for review or for the check. And whenever I give you assignment, give me on WhatsApp. Do the assignment and send me on WhatsApp. I'll check that. It's very important. If you are like compiling the assignment and you're not doing that, it will not help you. Do it with the lecture. Send me so that I can check on time. You can go on to the next topic after doing that assignment. Till here we are done with this the approach. After in the next class, obviously we'll do price elasticity of demand, and we have another approach for that. We are doing algebraic approach till now. Algebraic approach in the demand based approach, demand based approach. Obviously, we're having algebraic approach as well, but also tabular approach. We'll do in the next class. Meet you guys in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye.